Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pride Podcast pregame show. How we feeling, guys? I got my man Malcolm with me. Malcolm, how we feeling today?
I'm doing good, but god damn it, what the hell's going on? The intro didn't play again, man. No,
That's 2 weeks in a row, man. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Man, you know what? Don't worry about it. Give me a second. Ready? Go.
The Pride Podcast Productions.
You're good enough for Detroit, Jay.
But he can't bear what comes from the
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
Here comes that pressure. Mayfield in the middle. It's intercepted. It's Derek Barnes. Seattle's got to make a stop. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to throw it back to Goff. Who had that on the bingo card? And a second. Here's a little trickery. St. Brown back to Goff. Lee Flicker's got Laporta wide open. Sam Laporta full race towards the end zone. Diving touchdown. Unreal. 52 for the win. It is just good. Just inside the upright. Jake Bates, hometown hero. And the Lions have come all the way back. Here comes the heat. It's Hutchinson again. Number 3, the hat trick for Aiden Hutchinson.
Blocked there by Zylstra. It's caught by Jamison Williams. There he goes. Foot race with Miller. Foot race with Savage. That is 6 for number 9.
Just like the white ring does, sing songs and I should sing it. Ooh, baby, ooh, ooh. Just like the white ring does, sing songs and I should sing it. Ooh, baby, ooh, ooh.
Let's go. Wow, Tyler.
Could you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now, Tyler. Wow.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the pregame show. Lions, Vikings, back after the bye week. Here we go. Division rival right here. Malcolm, how we feeling?
Woo! What's going on, man? Yo, I'm doing great, man. I feel great. We got the Vikings. I'm just ready for another dub, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. You know what? I've officially declared it's time for a new device because this laptop ain't doing. I didn't get to watch the video, and I am hella delayed right now, so I have no idea what's going on. If I could hear Malcolm, I think we're good now. Let's do the inactive for both of these teams right now. Malcolm, go ahead and start it off with the Lions inactive report, and then we'll get into the Vikings after.
Yerp. So the Detroit Lions inactive report. Starting off with safety, Eric Hatlett. He's not playing today. Quentin Jefferson, defensive lineman, also inactive. Big one. This is big. Kirby Joseph. He's inactive. He's not playing today, guys. No Kirby. Craig Reynolds, a running back. That brother's out today. Jamie Robinson, safety. He is out. And last one, Makai Wingo. He is inactive. Yerp.
Okay, so relatively healthy. Got some guys back after the bye week. Just Kirby still missing some time. And then obviously got Brian Branch coming off the suspension this week. So that is also some good news. So a little, missing Kirby obviously is huge, but you got a little revamped secondary, which is nice after, what we saw Monday night versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though those guys did absolutely ball out. But let's get into this Minnesota Vikings inactive report. We got a former friend of ours, cornerback Jeff Okudah, inactive here.
God damn it.
Yeah, no attacking Jeff Hefe today, as they call him. We got fullback CJ Ham on here, the absolute vet. Linebacker Austin Keys. Got tackle Walter Roos. Tight end Josh Oliver. Tight end Ben Sims. Defensive lineman Tyrone Ingram Dawkins. So Vikings obviously have some, their guys back. The big injury report was their tackles, and they got those guys back. And then the big story today is J.J. McCarthy is back after missing multiple weeks, hasn't played since week 2, and he is back to play today. In the state where he won a national championship, right, with the University of Michigan in 2023, and now he's back here in the state of Michigan playing the Detroit Lions. So let's just get right into it. Let's start off with this Lions offense against this Minnesota defense. Malcolm, I feel like in years previous, Minnesota's defense is one of those units that we always feared with their edge rushers and just the play calling, always giving Detroit a lot of issues. And it feels like recently, at least this year for the Minnesota Vikings, that has not been the big issue for them. And the Lions, for the most part, have had the upper hand in these matchups. So the offense versus defense, Jared Goff has been great versus Brian Flores, which that used to be the narrative backwards, right? That Brian Flores used to own Jared Goff, and now that narrative is kind of flipping around. So now you look at this matchup here. What do you look for this Detroit Lions offensive attack on this Vikings defense?
Man, come on, man. Come on, man. This is simple, man. Detroit Lions against the Minnesota Vikings. You're looking at the Vikings. Their defense is not terrible. I mean, they're 14th overall. They're talking about just yards. But the thing that I see right now, the big glaring hole that I see right now is their 24th ranked rushing defense. And I think this is going to be a big game. I mean, you're talking about for our two running backs, you got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. So this is the game that, you're looking at the Lions, and I think they could do whatever they want. I think they're going to get the running game going. And then once that happens, I think you're going to see big plays downfield. And I think there's going to be a guy that's going to just completely go off today, a guy that's unexpected that hasn't really had one of those games, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Well, that's actually a great segue. Is I was going to say we looked at this bye week, right, and we said something was a little off with this Lions offense. Like it's still very high power. They have all the dynamic players, but we feel like there's something a little missing. Now that they had a bye week under their belt, they're back at their home turf. What do you look for the Lions to do differently than we didn't see the first 7 games?
J-Mo plays. I think we're going to see a lot of J-Mo plays, man. I think they're gonna install a lot of plays today just for J-Mo. You might see some end arounds. You might see him get some screens. I think he's gonna get the ball in his hands a lot more than we've seen in the past. So I think it's gonna be a big game for J-Mo. The thing that we were missing is those big explosive plays from J-Mo, and they just weren't giving him any opportunities. So I think they sat in that room. It's like I said they were. I think they sat in that room and said, "Hey, this guy needs to get involved." And I think this is the game that's gonna happen.
I agree with you, right? I mean, I don't know necessarily it's gonna be like a huge game out of him, like if you're expecting like a 3 touchdown game or 2 touchdown game, like I don't know if we're gonna go all that, but I think just having the focal point of just getting him more looks, right? Just get him targets, right? Just get him some looks. We talked about in the last episode after the Tampa Bay game. I think a lot of people are frustrated with J-Mo, and I call out the fantasy football players, and I call out the people that are betting on Jameson Williams because he's not cashing your tickets or he's not giving you fantasy points. Jameson Williams is doing a fine job, so I'm not going to get into that whole spiel of what he's doing on the field and his impact that he's going to do. But I do agree with you, and I think even John Morton, he said it this week, right, when they interviewed him in the press conference, and he says he failed Jameson Williams. He says he has failed Jameson Williams, and he has not put him in the best opportunity to succeed. Obviously, Jameson Williams is doing a lot of the gritty work. He's blocking his ass off. He's drawing attention away from defenders and freeing up for these other guys, especially like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta. I feel like today is the day they kind of want to reward him, right? It's after the bye week. They had an extra week to prepare for this team. I don't want to say they know the Minnesota Vikings because it's a brand new year, but it's a division game, right? Like, you kind of know what they're going to, their tendencies, right? You know what Brian Flores is going to give every single week. And Brian Flores is a phenomenal defensive coordinator, right? Like, I think one of the most creative defensive coordinators in the NFL, like with how his exotic looks and all that. Like, the way he generates pressure. You don't know when they're in man. You don't know when they're in zone. You don't know when they're going to blitz. Like, he's very, very creative. And this is a new Lions offensive coordinator, but I feel like the Lions have had the upper edge on his defense. And I feel like this is a game where, hey, man, you're going to circle number 1, Jameson Williams. This is a game we want to get him involved. Maybe if he doesn't get the big play, we're going to at least give him the looks. We're going to give him some targets today. Like, because that's been kind of the problem just the last couple of weeks. He's not even really getting the looks anymore. So at the very least, I just want to see him get some looks from the quarterback, have some J-Mo plays, like you said. Have J-Mo plays installed for him, and let's see what he could do, man. We know the impact he could do when he has the ball. We just need to get the ball in his hands, and that's the big thing right here. So I'm looking forward to see how creative they can get just to get him the ball today. And I agree with you. I think after the bye, and John Morton calling himself out in the media and saying he has failed Jameson Williams, I know that's been a big focal point all week long, and I agree with you, man. I think this is going to be a game where we're going to say this is the JMO coming out party today in the 2025 season, because he needs one of those games. Like, he's had a touchdown, in KC. He's had some moments, but I think he just needs that game where, like, he's the leading receiver, and I can see that being today versus Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Especially with Johnny Moore calling himself out. I mean, anybody can see it. He's not getting the targets. There's no plays installed for him. So I mean, we're gonna see that this week. I think it's gonna be a big game for J-Mo. Not like you said, not necessarily maybe 3 touchdowns, but could be 2. Could be 2.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But yeah, big game for J-Mo today. I'm expecting him to be the X factor for today, as far as like that player's gonna come out. And another player I want to talk about is Jared Goff, man. I mean, you talked about it, how Brian Flores has had his number really early in his career, but now it's like Jared Goff looks forward to playing Brian Flores' defense, because he completely cooks his defense every time he plays him now. Now it's like Jared Goff probably wakes up, probably circle the counter, like, oh, yep, Vikings getting it. All right, let's do it. And I'm going to have a big game. Because Jared Goff, he's been cooking them. So Jared Goff is going to have another, like I see, I think he'll have another big game today.
It's going to come up front, right? That's going to be the big focal point today, because I feel like the offensive line has been, it's been a strength this year, obviously, right? But I feel like the last couple of weeks they have allowed some pressures and they have allowed some sacks on Jared Goff, and that was something they're doing very, very well early on in the season. I want to see after this bye week, everyone's a little more fresh now. Taylor Deiker's obviously been dealing with an injury all year, and he's been on the injury report every single game, but he's been, gutting it out and playing these games, right? This is a good Minnesota front four, and that's something we've always talked about Minnesota. I feel like they have always had those guys, right? And they still have those guys. Like, you look at a Jonathan Allen, you look at a Jonathan Bernard who's playing in this game, and Andrew Van Ginkel. Like, these are some really, really good players, and they can generate pressure on the quarterback. So if they could keep Jared Goff clean, that's where you kind of see the swagger Goff come out, and that's where something they gotta be ready for, right? Like, this offensive line has to be ready to go. And if they are ready to go, that's where we can kind of see up the big plays like James Williams, because that's been kind of the issue why they haven't been able to draw up the big plays, is that they're not getting the time in the pocket like they were previously. And they need to get back to their lingo, right? They got to get back to their game of football. And like I said, man, you had a week of rest now. You're a little more fresh. I'm looking for a big game out of this Lions offensive line to protect Jared Goff, to set up the big plays. And what's a good offensive line set up big plays for? The running game. This is a Jai Gibbs running game. You said 24 ranked rush defense. This is a game where he had 4 touchdowns in his last game versus Minnesota in that Week 18 game, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. He beat the hat trick. He had a quadruple. He went for a grand slam. So this is another game for Jahmyr Gibbs, man. You say Jared Goff looks forward to these games. I think Jahmyr Gibbs looks forward to these games too when he plays this Minnesota defense.
Yeah, it's coming to a point that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be looking forward to play anybody at this point. I think he's coming on his own, man. He's coming on his own, man. And I don't know, man. The Vikings going to have a really hard time trying to stop him this week.
Absolutely. All right, let's switch gears to the other side of the ball, because I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup, right? JJ McCarthy hasn't played since week 2. Was drafted in the first round last year from the Minnesota Vikings, obviously. And then, the whole debacle, they don't re-sign Kirk Cousins. They bring in Sam Darnold last year. JJ's hurt, so Sam Darnold ends up starting the year. They win 14 games. Let Sam Darnold walk in the offseason. And then now JJ McCarthy is, put into this position to be the starting quarterback for the Vikings. Gets hurt. Carson Wentz starts for the majority of the season. Carson Wentz is now on the shelf. He's done for the season. JJ's back in the equation. This is going to be his 3rd game starting in the NFL. I mean, Malcolm, when you look at this Minnesota Vikings offense, you look at JJ McCarthy, it's like, what are you kind of expecting today? Because I really don't know what to expect today.
I'm not expecting much, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not expecting much. I mean, if you're looking at his first 2 weeks, his first 2 starts, he has 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He has 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been setting the world on fire. He's been bad. So now he's coming. And on top of that, he played against the Atlanta Falcons, who doesn't have a really great defense. And he played against the Bears, who are the Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears are the Bears. So I think he's going to be – this might be the toughest defense he's had played so far as scheme-wise. Because the Lions get after you. They get after you, and then you got to deal with Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes. Well, who's the new paid man?
Yeah, new paid man. He's fired up. He's paid. I mean, he got to deal with Aiden Hutchinson. He hasn't had to deal with nobody like Aiden Hutchinson so far in his career. This is gonna be a really tough matchup for him. I think I don't see him setting the world on fire. This is gonna be another rough game for him. Both games he had was rough.
100%. You know, I mean, outside that second half of Chicago, but yeah, other than that second half of Chicago, it's been a rocky start for JJ so far. You know, but I am curious to hear your opinion, right? Before we knew the Carson Wentz injury, and I don't think it's a big lean either or, but I'm just curious to hear your opinion. Who did you prefer to play if you could choose to start?
Flip a
Would you
coin.
prefer JJ McCarthy or Carson Wentz?
Flip a coin. Probably JJ McCarthy because he's less
Okay,
experienced.
fair enough.
Because he's less experienced and he hasn't been good. He's been bad. At least Carson Wentz sucks, but Carson Wentz has some experience. I mean, he knows how to, I don't know, maybe handle some pressure. No, he doesn't know. They're both trash. It's like they're asking me the rest of the been on the trash can. Like, which one do I want? They've both been bad. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree.
Doesn't
I think
matter.
ultimately,
They're not good.
I agree. Ultimately, I don't think it's a huge lean either or. I think if I had to choose one, just to choose one, right? Like, and like again, I'm not, there's not a huge influence on the game how I think it's going to go. I would probably choose. I prefer to play Carson Wentz just because I think we match up better well with him. He doesn't have that ability to really escape the pocket anymore, and Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz at this point. I mean, JJ has still like the least the uncertainty. We just don't know anything really about this kid. He just hasn't really played that much, right? So there is not much film on JJ McCarthy right now. So like just from the principle from that, I would probably choose Carson Wentz. But again, I'm not saying, wow, now it's worrisome that we're playing JJ McCarthy instead of Carson Wentz. That's not at all where I'm going. The one positive I will say for the Vikings that they didn't really have early on the point of the year, their offensive line is full strength now, right? They got their tackles back. They got Brian O'Neill. They got Christian Darris out back. So for the Viking standard, this is going to be kind of your first test. At least you got your blindside tackle, your blindside tackle for JJ McCarthy, who they haven't seen yet in the first two games. So that's an experiment for them. But I agree with you, man. I mean, you look at this Detroit defense, there's just too much firepower on this defense. And they are playing with a swagger right now. And especially after that Tampa Bay game, Coach Shep has a lot of confidence right now. And I don't want to sleep on this Kevin O'Connell offense because I respect it so much because I think Kevin O'Connell is one of the best play callers and just one of the best coaches, period, in the NFL. But I just think we have the upper edge here. I really do, man. An unexperienced quarterback. Yes, you got a healthy offensive line, but this line's defense is at a different level right now. And I think they're going to make things very, very tough for JJ McCarthy today, even with having a full strength offensive line, even with having two dynamic receivers, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I still think this is going to be a very tough day at the office for JJ McCarthy. I think this line's defense should have the upper advantage. And Coach Shep, like we said, man, he's been putting these guys in the right spot. And now he's got Brian Branch back, who's going to be amped up. They're coming off a bye week. Like they have a lot of momentum right now, Detroit. And Minnesota feels like the other way around. Like their momentum is kind of sinking right now. They kind of need something to pick them up. So we'll see, man. I don't know. I don't want to sleep on them, but like I like our favors a lot today for defensively.
Shit, you don't want to sleep on them? I'm sleeping. I'm taking a long ass nap. I'm taking a long ass nap on them because this is yeah, I mean, I'm not worried, not even a bit. I mean, I'll be shocked. I mean, speaking of being shocked, I mean, let's just talk about the elephant in the room here, especially on defense. We have a guy that's coming back off injury, coming back in the starting lineup. Your favorite player, number 6, Terron Arnold.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel he'll perform today?
Big test for him, man. I mean, they have two dynamic receivers, right? Justin Jefferson, top 3 in the league. I don't think, no question, right? Top 3 receiver in the league right now. Jordan Addison, a very great complementary piece, could probably be a one for a lot of teams, right? I don't want to say a lot of teams, but like he's a really good receiver, right?
Yeah.
This is a big test for him. This is a big test for him, man. I mean, 1, hold your side down, and 2, penalties, man. I don't you got to limit the penalties. And I said it last week, man, or 2 weeks ago when we last played the Buccaneers. The way that those guys played on Monday Night Football, the leash is short for TA. You're going to get another opportunity. I expected him to get another opportunity, as he should. But that leash is short, man. If you are not performing to the level of a standard that the Lions expect, right? And it's just hold your side and don't cause penalties, right? If you don't hold that standard, I don't think the Lions are going to have a long leash with Terran Arnold. And they shouldn't, because they have guys ready to roll. They have guys ready to play. If that's Rock Yassin, if that's my boy Nick Whiteside, I don't care. They have guys ready to go. So TA, I mean, I'm not going to go as far as say it's put up or shut up time. This is all in on one game, but this is a very big test for him. And it's a big test, obviously, going against Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So we need a big game out of him. I mean, not even a big game. I just don't want to hear his name at all. If I just don't hear Terran Arnold's name all day today, that is a big W. You know, if he's just holding his side down, that is a big W. But I know Kevin O'Connell. I know how the Minnesota Vikings operates, and this is how all 31 NFL teams should operate against the Lions. You see number 6 on the field, you should test that guy all day long. And now this is the time. How are you going to respond? Because you know what Baker Mayfield did 2 weeks ago when we went to play the Lions? He saw number 38, Nick Whiteside. He said, "Who is this guy? I am going to target him every single time." My guy, Nick Whiteside.
He said, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
He said, "Who the fuck is this guy?" But Nick Whiteside, every time, you know, his number was called on and they targeted him, he answered. What? 3 pass breakups, 4 targets, 0 receptions. TA, like that's what teams are going to do to you now. You're back on that field. They're going to target you. So now this is an opportunity for him. He's got to step up now. And I want to see how he's going to respond. So I'm hoping for a big game out of him. Or at the very least, I just don't want to hear his name called out at all. But I know how this team is going to roll. They're going to target Terran Arnold. So, yes, big game for him. Big moment for him because if, you know, he doesn't have a good game, like I said, I don't think the Lions have any hesitation of pulling that leash because they have some guys ready to roll. So, big game for him. We'll see what happens today with Terran Arnold.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Like you said, yeah, definitely. I feel you, man. I think he does have a short leash because there's guys who really performed in their last game. That's gonna be interesting. I want to see how he does. And, I'm gonna be a little bit less harsh than you as far as not hearing his name. If he has a penalty, it happens. I mean, if he wants to be that aggressive corner and have a penalty here and there, and like Brian Branch, I'm okay with it as long as you make up for it.
You have to make plays. Yeah, you have to
make plays, man. I want to see some PBUs. I want to see some interceptions. I want to see something. You got to make up for it. You can't just go out there and just cause all these penalties and do nothing positive about it. So if he has a penalty, I'm not gonna overreact. But if he has all these penalties, multiple penalties, and does nothing and gives up touchdowns and gives up all these yards and can't do nothing, then I'm like, yo, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So hopefully he steps up. Another big question I have, I know last time we played the Minnesota Vikings, Amik Robinson really put the clampers on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Are you expecting another one-on-one matchup with Amik Robinson and Justin Jefferson? I mean, they have history. They have history together.
Absolutely. You know, and I realize the history goes kind of deeper than just that Week 18 game. Like these guys actually played in the same area in high school versus each other, and you know, it goes deep, right? Like I didn't realize it goes that deep into the connection. I was listening to Amon Ross podcast, the St. Brown podcast, and Amik was on, and he was talking about the history between him and Jefferson, and I was fascinated. I didn't realize they went that deep, but you know, I expect Amik's going to have one side, and if they want to target him with Justin Jefferson, let's play ball. Let's go. I think he's ready to roll. I think Justin Jefferson's ready to roll as well. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they line it up. I mean, I don't think Amik's going to follow Justin Jefferson by any means, but I think he's going to have his one side, and if Jefferson's on that side, we're going to see that matchup again. Absolutely. We know Detroit's MO is mainly man coverage, right? So yeah, I think there's a good chance you're going to see some Justin Jefferson versus Amik Robinson. And, you know, Justin Jefferson, the competitor that he is, he wants to get his get back after that game that, he had Week 18 versus the Lions, and Amik locked him down, right? So this is a big game for him. I'm curious to see how the Lions are going to line this up in the defensive back room today. I have a theory. I think it's going to be Amik and Arnold on one side. And then the nickel back, I assume, would probably be Arthur Millette because I think he played pretty well in that Monday night game versus Tampa, obviously a veteran there. So maybe you get Arthur Millette in that nickel. And then at the safeties, you got Brian Branch back at that strong safety spot, which is obviously huge. And then I think getting Avonte Maddox, which is kind of an underrated guy that's coming back off injury because I think a lot of people kind of forgot about him. But he was the first safety when Kirby got hurt in that Cleveland game all the way back in Week 4. And I thought he held his ground pretty well. So now that he's kind of back in the mix, I think that's a big help too. And it's not even discredit to the other guys. I mean, like Thomas Harper and Eric Hallett, I thought held their ground pretty well in that Monday night game versus Tampa. But I think Avonte Maddox is the best guy after Kirby Joseph. So to get him back in that free safety spot, I think is big for this Lions defense as well. So like I said, getting some reinforcements back in this defensive back room is really, really nice. So that's the way I expect him to line it up. But hey, man, maybe Shep gets a little wild. We see a little Rocky Sin on the outside, move a Meek inside for certain plays if they want to go into nickel. So they have guys though, so they can get creative. So I'm looking forward to see how Shep gets creative. But that's how I would expect it to look for the most part today on the defensive back room.
They definitely have options. That's a good thing. I'm glad they have options. That's definitely positive.
Absolutely. And you know who else I'm excited to see? Obviously, we're excited about Aiden Hutchinson. His new payday, and he's going to be a line for a very, very long time. I'm excited to see another game out of Lee McNeil, man. Just the impact that he had in that first game, in the first Tampa Bay, man. I know he's ready to roll again too. He's a little even more fresh coming off the bye week. So if I'm a Lions fan, and I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not saying do it all game, but do it for at least a couple plays. Just zone in on 54 and just see the impact that he does in that interior. You're just going to be amazed every single time. He crushes that pocket every single time. There's just some plays I'm like, I'm just going to zone in on Lee McNeil. I don't care what else happens. I just want to zone in on Lee McNeil and see what he does. So I advise Lions fans to do the same because you really enjoy the talent when you just kind of zone in on what Aleem does with his Lions defense.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's a terror.
He's a beast, man. All right. I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean, I guess we'll talk really quickly. The Vikings running game, I think this should be a good match for the Lions team. This is a team that just doesn't run the ball very, very well. I think this should be a good match for the Lions run defense. They shouldn't let Aaron Jones or Jordan Mason, let them really have some big plays. I expect this Lions run defense to have another big day on the field today.
Yeah, same here. I'm not expecting much from the Lions running defense. I mean, they're giving up fourth. They're the fourth rushing defense in the league right now, as far as yards is concerned. And the Vikings is 26. It's not looking too good. I mean, granted, they had a banged up offensive line, and the quarterback was Carson Wentz. I don't think it's much of a difference right now with their quarterback situation. I mean,
the obvious thing is if the Vikings are going to find a way to win this game, it's going to have to be from Jason McCarthy's own. I think that's how it's going to have to happen. If you're going to try to find a way to steal the game, but that's the only way. I think I'm not really feared of this run game at all. Like that's one where you say you're taking a long nap on. I'll sleep on the Vikings run game. I'm not
for them
concerned about them.
For them to win this game, man. It will have to be an absolute disaster for Detroit Lions offense. Like Jared Goff will have to stink the bed. Probably have one of his worst games in a very long time. Offensive line will probably have to forget they knew how to play football. It had to be like one of those Space Jam situations where the aliens come down and take their talents and takes it back to outer space. One of those situations would have to happen to that Detroit Lions offensive line for the Vikings to have a type of game like that. It have to be complete meltdown on Detroit Lions offense. The Vikings have a chance to win this game.
Fair enough. All right, let's do our Lions picks and our bold predictions, and we'll do our locks of the week, and then we'll head out of here. So, Lions, when we last checked, they still are 9.5-point favorites at home versus the Minnesota Vikings. Malcolm, I'll let you get the first pick here. What's your score in this game?
All right, so my score this game, man, it's the Vikings. They gained J.J. McCarthy back. Brian Flores, pretty scary, right? Psych. Shoot, I'm going 38-17 Lions. And this to show you, like, as far as the spread is concerned, man, I actually, on my bet that I put on this game, I actually increased the spread to 13.5 points. I think it's going to be a complete domination by the Detroit Lions. Just because I wanted more money. That's the only reason why I did it, because I wanted more money.
Fair enough.
And I know the Lions are going to dominate this game. So, yeah, I actually increased the spread to 13.5. It's originally a 9-point spread, but yeah, I increased it to 13.5, and yeah, Lions will win this game.
I like it. I know I am kind of on the same boat with you. I think this is a good get-back game for the Lions. Like, they've been fine, but I think they're kind of missing that one piece. I feel like today is where they kind of put it all together today. And it's going to be tough against Brian Flores, but I'm expecting a big offensive barrage. Let's go 34. You know what? No, let's have some fun. 40 burger. 40 points for the Detroit Lions today. Minnesota is going to score a whopping 14.
One touchdown? 14? Yeah, shit. I mean, that's what I see it like that.
Yeah, let's go 40-14. Little Lions barrage today. Let's have some fun out there. Bold prediction. Did you get a bold prediction? You didn't say a bold prediction, did you?
I ain't say a bold prediction. No, I did
What's
not.
your,
But go ahead.
what's your bold prediction?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay,
Shit.
bold
No, go ahead.
prediction.
While I think about it.
Okay, bold prediction. Let's get. We haven't had a pick six this year, have we?
No.
No, we haven't had a pick six, right?
No.
Let's get a pick six today. How about from our guy coming off suspension, Brian Branch? He's gonna get the pick six today.
I thought he was gonna be really bold and say Terry Arnold.
Oh, hell no. I ain't that bold. I'd rather choose Nick Whiteside over Terry Arnold.
You're not crazy. You're just bold.
No. Brian Branch, pick six today. 40-14. Detroit wins this game.
All right, my bold prediction, just because I think it's JJ McCarthy out there. I think they're going to confuse him. They're going to pressure him. I think what's going to happen, that's going to trickle down to that boy Jefferson. I think he is held to under 50 yards today.
Ooh.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. Jefferson under 50 yards.
You're expecting that pass rush for the Lions to show up today, huh?
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of pass rush. It's going to be one of the more pressure games that he's seen in as far as in the regular season, because he played the Falcons and then he played the Bears.
Right.
So I think playing against us is going to be a different type of animal. So he'll get pressured at a higher rate, I think, against this defense. And then I think Coach Shep is going to do a good job confusing them. He's still young, hasn't seen much. They're going to confuse him, and I think it'll be a rough game for him.
All right. Let's do our locks of the week, and then we'll head out of here. We got a little less than 10 minutes of game time, so let's do that, and we'll hit it up. Malcolm, what do you got here? Lock of the week. I'll give you first pick.
All right, lock of the week, man. Just real quick, I'm going Indianapolis -3 over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There you go. They've been rolling, man. Colts been great this year, so let's see what happens. I'm going to go San Francisco 49ers -2.5. Mac Jones, and quarterback today for the Niners today. I think the Giants are a little flustered right now. Scatterboo going out. I think that was a gut punch for the Giants. So I think the Niners win this game today. It's in MetLife, but I still think the Niners win this game, and they should cover that 2.5 spread. So that is my lock of the week.
Yep.
All right. Hope you guys all enjoyed. We will be live right after the game, reacting to this Lions-Vikings game. Hopefully a nice and easy game where you sit back, go grab that popcorn, and you're not stressing too much. That's hopefully the plan today. So, and then we'll talk about it after the game. So hope you guys could come join us on here. Wherever you're watching right now, we will be live right on that same platform. So YouTube, X, come join us. Instagram now, you come join us right after that game. So hope you guys all enjoyed. I'm out, guys. Peace.
All right, y'all. It's your boy Malcolm, man. We'll catch you guys right after the game. Same spot, same place. I'm out, man. Peace.